The voice of doubt is paralyzing your faith. Today, we're going to learn how to silence that doubt, not with endless arguments or desperate pleas for validation, but with the undeniable, self-evident power of your actions. This isn't just about achieving goals. It's about a profound spiritual truth that allows your life to become a living sermon, proving God's faithfulness through the quiet, consistent work you put in. Many of us find ourselves caught in a cycle, striving to be seen, to be heard, to justify our paths to those who question or dismiss us. We pour energy into defending our intentions, our dreams, our very worth. We explain, we rationalize, we argue. But what if the pathway to true vindication, to the kind of peace and purpose that silence every critic, lies not in the eloquence of your words, but in the unwavering discipline of your hands and heart? What if your greatest testimony isn't something you speak, but something you build, brick by quiet brick, until its sheer presence is unignorable? This journey we're embarking on isn't about ignoring criticism. It's about transforming it into the very fuel that propels you forward, a silent, powerful engine of resilience. It's about understanding that the truest measure of your faith, and indeed your character, isn't found in how loudly you proclaim your beliefs, but in how faithfully you live them out, especially when no one is watching. The world often clamors for attention, for immediate recognition, but the kingdom operates on a different timetable, a different currency. It values the deep roots, the unseen growth, the foundation laid in obscurity. Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to prove something to someone? A family member who doubts your path, a former colleague who underestimated you, or even that nagging voice inside your own head whispering, "You're not enough." It's a heavy burden, isn't it? Carrying the weight of expectation and judgment. We often believe that if we just explain ourselves better, if we just articulate our vision more clearly, then others will finally see and understand. But here's a liberating truth. Your success, your quiet, undeniable progress, is the most profound and irrefutable argument you will ever make. It transcends words, bypasses bias, and speaks directly to the soul. Imagine for a moment a master craftsman, perhaps a custom furniture maker in a small workshop, not seeking fame or applause, but simply devoted to the perfection of his craft. He doesn't argue with critics about the quality of his wood or the precision of his joinery. He simply produces pieces of such exquisite beauty and durability that they speak for themselves. People don't ask him to justify his passion. They simply admire the finished product and seek his work. That's the kind of silent power we're talking about. The diagnosis for many of us is a misplaced focus. We look outward for affirmation, when the true transformation begins inward, through diligent, unseen effort. The first step towards that transformation is to redirect that energy you spend on external validation and channel it into consistent, quiet building. Stop trying to convince the world with your words and start showing it with your life. If this message resonates with a deep longing in your spirit, if you're ready to embrace a path where your actions speak louder than any words, then I invite you to join this community. Share your own quiet victories in the comments below, and let us know what spiritual topics you'd like to explore next. Your voice matters, and your journey can inspire us all. One of the biggest obstacles we face on this journey is the constant need to explain ourselves, to justify our quiet dedication. We live in a world that thrives on noise, on instant gratification, on public declarations. So, when you choose the path of silent work, of building a foundation without fanfare, you often encounter skepticism, even derision. I recall a young woman named Sarah, a talented artist from a small town. She felt called to create meaningful, spiritually uplifting art, but her family urged her toward a more stable career. They saw her long hours in her studio, not as focused dedication, but as a hobby, a distraction from real life. They would constantly ask, "When are you going to get a proper job?" Or, "What's the point of all this if no one sees it?" Sarah could have spent countless hours arguing, defending her passion, trying to convince them of her artistic vision. Instead, she chose a different path. She simply kept working. She poured her heart into every brushstroke, every canvas. She didn't seek external validation. She sought to honor the gift God had given her. This principle of quiet perseverance, rooted in a deep sense of purpose, is what transforms doubt into a distant echo. It's like the biblical account of Nehemiah. When he was rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, he faced mockery and threats from Sanballat and Tobiah. Nehemiah didn't engage in lengthy debates. He simply stated, "I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down." He kept his focus on the task, on the divine mandate, and allowed the rising wall to be his answer. Sarah, like Nehemiah, understood that the most powerful response to skepticism is unwavering dedication. She didn't wait for permission or applause. She simply built. And as her art began to find its way into homes and galleries, as people were genuinely moved by her creations, her family's questions slowly turned into admiration and then into pride. The work itself became the undeniable proof. Another significant obstacle is the internal battle against impatience and the urge to seek quick wins. We see others making grand announcements, seemingly achieving overnight success, and we wonder if our quiet, consistent efforts are truly enough. This can lead to a surprising revelation. The very act of seeking external validation often delays true progress. When you're constantly looking over your shoulder, waiting for applause or affirmation, you're diverting precious energy that could be invested in the work itself. Think of a gardener who plants a seed. He doesn't dig it up every day to check its growth or ask the neighbors if they've seen any sprouts yet. He trusts the process. He waters it consistently, ensures it gets sunlight, and removes weeds. His focus is on the nurturing, not on the immediate visible result. The growth happens in the dark, in the unseen, until one day, the plant emerges, strong and vibrant. That's the practical application of this principle. Trust the unseen process. Stop measuring your progress by external applause and start measuring it by your internal consistency and the depth of your effort. This isn't about being indifferent to feedback, but about distinguishing between constructive input and the noise of doubt or the clamor for recognition. Your true strength isn't built in the spotlight. It's forged in the quiet hours when you are dedicated to your craft, your calling, or your character, even when no one is watching. The moment you shift your focus from proving others wrong to simply proving your own commitment to your calling, you unlock a powerful, accelerating force within you. It's a subtle but profound change in perspective that transforms the entire trajectory of your journey. This brings us to a crucial spiritual turning point, understanding that our worth and validation come from God, not from human applause or approval. This truth, often overlooked in our performance-driven world, is the central biblical truth that anchors us. The Apostle Paul, a man who faced immense criticism and opposition, understood this deeply. In Galatians 1:10, he asks, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." This isn't just a theological statement. It's a profound spiritual blueprint for inner transformation. When your primary audience becomes God, the noise of human opinion simply fades into the background. Your motivation shifts from seeking external affirmation to living in faithful obedience and diligent stewardship of the gifts and calling He has placed upon your life. This reorientation is the engine of true, lasting change. It allows you to cultivate a spirit of quiet confidence, knowing that your efforts, however unseen by the world, are seen and valued by the one who truly matters. Imagine a young woman, perhaps a single mother, working 2 jobs to provide for her children and pursue an education at night. Her days are long, her nights are filled with study, and she often feels invisible, her sacrifice is unacknowledged. But she doesn't do it for the accolades. She does it out of a fierce love for her children and a deep-seated belief in God's promise for her future. Her transformation isn't measured by a degree on the wall, but by the quiet strength she builds, the resilience she embodies, and the unwavering faith that sustains her through every challenge. This shift from external validation to divine approval liberates you to build something truly meaningful, not just for yourself, but as a testament to God's hand in your life. Embracing this new perspective allows us to see our work, our struggles, and our very existence through a different lens. It transforms seemingly mundane tasks into acts of worship, and silent perseverance into a powerful testimony. Consider the story of David before he faced Goliath. He wasn't a seasoned warrior. He was a shepherd boy, accustomed to quiet vigilance in the fields, protecting his flock from lions and bears. No one witnessed those battles. No one applauded his courage in the wilderness. But it was there, in the solitude of his unacclaimed duties, that he honed his skills, built his strength, and developed an unwavering trust in God. When the moment came to face the giant, David didn't need to explain his past. His quiet preparation became the foundation of his audacious faith. His actions, born from unseen discipline, spoke volumes. This principle extends to every area of your life. Are you a student quietly excelling in your studies, not for the top grade, but to master the knowledge? Are you a parent consistently pouring into your children, knowing the lasting impact of your love is built day by quiet day? Are you an entrepreneur meticulously building a business, not for the spotlight, but to create something of true value? Your quiet diligence is your most eloquent sermon, your most compelling argument. It's an expansive application of faith, moving beyond mere belief into tangible, undeniable proof. It's about letting your life be a testament to God's faithfulness, not through boasting, but through genuine, consistent, and often unseen effort. What if the very thing you're quietly building today is the foundation for the breakthrough you've been praying for? What if the unseen work is the most important work of all? So, what are the practical steps to embody this truth and allow your results to speak for themselves? First, identify the noise in your life. The voices of doubt, the need for external validation, the distractions that pull you away from your silent building. Then, commit to a daily discipline of focused work, whether it's on your calling, your character, or your relationships. This isn't about perfection, but about consistency. Think of it like a river. A single drop of water has little power, but a consistent current, flowing relentlessly, can carve canyons through solid rock over time. Your consistent, quiet effort is that current. Second, cultivate a spirit of self-responsibility. Own your journey, your choices, and your progress. When you stop blaming external circumstances or seeking external approval, you reclaim your power. This vision isn't just about personal achievement. It's about becoming a beacon of hope and inspiration to others, not through what you say, but through what you embody. It's an invitation to shift from a reactive stance, constantly defending yourself, to a proactive one, consistently building a life that reflects God's purpose for you. This isn't a path for the weak or the faint of heart. It's a path for those ready to embrace the quiet strength that comes from trusting God with the outcomes and focusing on the process. Are you ready to step into this renewed vision, to let your actions be your most powerful testament, and to embrace the profound peace that comes from knowing you are building a life that truly honors your calling? As we consolidate this journey, remember that the goal isn't just to achieve something great, but to become someone great through the process. The quiet, consistent work you put in shapes not just your external circumstances, but your very character, forging resilience, patience, and unwavering faith. Your future isn't defined by the doubts of others, but by the undeniable evidence of God's hand at work in your life, manifested through your diligent efforts. Imagine yourself years from now, looking back at the path you've walked. You'll see not a trail littered with arguments and justifications, but a solid structure built on quiet dedication, a testament to God's faithfulness and your unwavering commitment. This is the vision of a life lived by faith, where success isn't just about what you accomplish, but about who you become in the process. It's a life that speaks volumes without uttering a single word, inspiring others to trust the unseen process and to build their own foundations of quiet strength. If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, if it has ignited a desire to let your actions speak louder than any words, then I invite you to share a moment from your own journey in the comments below. Let us know how this message has resonated with you, or perhaps what quiet effort you're committing to today. Your story is powerful, and by sharing it, you not only bless others but also solidify your own resolve. And if you found encouragement and strength in this message, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear it today. Let's build a community where our actions, rooted in faith, are our loudest and most compelling statements.